Hello everyone, Smiley here. Welcome back to my page. How you doing? You alright? Now if you're new here, I'm Lisa and the kids call me the Smiley Coach, and my job is to create self-development tools that make growing up easier. And there's lots of different ways that I do that. I'm also the author of this book, Stuck Between Two Worlds. Yes, let me just tell you quickly what I'm doing with that at the moment. If you are a Wild Heart bookworm, so Wild Hearts are the children that I work with. They're called strong-willed sensitive children. If you are a bookworm, at the moment I'm writing an activity pack. It's a guide to a confidence book club so that you can go out into the world. If you're a yoga teacher or a school teacher or even parents, however you work with children, if you've got a copy of the book, you can download the activity pack and you'll be able to work through the activity pack and actually learn what Ruby learns, who's the main wild heart in this book, what she learns on her journey of self-discovery. So I'm going to be, hopefully that will be ready, I'm going to say ready for half term. So half term will be the 31st of May, I think. So I'm going to get that ready. And I've decided to call it a confidence book club because I don't know if you guys know if you've read it, but do you remember once upon a time there was a girl called Smiley and she ran confidence workshops for kids, and they were really popular and they were all artsy and craftsy. And yeah, I taught kids life skills and self-development techniques like affirmations and positive self-talk and, using your body language, how to have healthy friendships, how to really know yourself, how to grow your self-awareness. I taught those in my workshops. And guess what? All of the things I taught are in this book. Did you know that? Did you get that, those of you that have read it? By the way, I got a really nice review. I got an email yesterday from a mum who just said, I've just finished your book and it's lovely. Thank you for letting me know. It's really nice to hear. And if any of you have read my book and enjoyed it, just nip on over to Amazon and pop in a review for me, will you? Because that will really help. Amazon like that, but it also help other children to find the book. So all of the tips and tools are in here. But if you're not familiar with my work, then the activity book, I thought the guide would be really good. And I took my inspiration from a lady two ladies actually, one called Denise Duffield-Thomas, who is an author, and another lady which you're probably more familiar with, which is Brené Brown, and she wrote Dare to Lead. And when you sign up for her book, both of their books, you get like a read-along activity guide so that you can actually put the book into practice. And I just thought, oh my God, there's too many like role plays, conversation starters, activities. So in this activity book I've done like a bookmark, and I've done bingo, and I've done who am I. So there's games in it, but then there's also journal prompts, discussion prompts, and all the activities that are in the book that Ruby has to do. I mean, they go to the walled garden, learn about clarity clouds, learn about intuitive dance, learn all about your feelings. They learn about goal setting in the Life Library with their rainbow books and their gold books. So all the things will be in the pack. I'm really excited about it. It's 40 pages, but I've designed it all. It's all nice and colourful and smiley-fied, and it also gives you instructions of how to use the book and how to set up a club. So that could be a book club, or it could be part of your yoga circle, or it could be an after school club, or it could just be your reading time in the classroom. So I'd say this book is probably for 9 to 12-year-olds, maybe 8-year-olds. I think everyone will get something out of it. That's the beauty of it. It's very layered. So I've had adults read it and say, oh my God, that was me. That was my inner child. That's really helpful. And then I've also had, kids read it and see the magic and the fun in it, like younger kids. And then I've had older kids read it and go, oh, that was really helpful. Thank you. So everyone will get what they need from it. Okay. So today I wanted to talk to you about building confidence and character. And I'm just going to read from a blog post that I wrote last week. I wrote 2 blog posts last week. I was feeling very creative, I think. And I wrote one for teachers, which was helping teachers spend less time firefighting behaviour and feel empowered to teach. Because that's something I hear teachers tell me a lot. You know, like there's always distractions or things going on. So I wanted to write about that because I've got a theory, which I know works from all my years of working with kids, that if you have a different foundation, if the core of your teaching is set on a different foundation, not one of behaviour, because if it's behaviour then it's made of squirty cream, that foundation, then you'll find teaching a lot easier because you won't be firefighting. So let's just have a look at this blog. It's called 15 Essential Life Skills for Kids That Build Confidence and Character. Well, that's what we want, isn't it? You want to send your kids out into the world knowing that they can hold their own, they're clear about who they are. I posted this morning actually about, the child that always says, I don't know. I coach a lot of kids like that. And there's lots of reasons why they say, I don't know, and they don't answer questions from teachers or parents or friends. But have a look at that post and it will give you some insights, and I think you'll find it helpful. But back to this one. I start off the blog by saying the huge waiting list for school counsellors and mental health services tell us that something is missing in our child's education. Their little hearts hungry for something deeper and more meaningful, something more emotional and authentic. Without this connection to their hearts, the essence of who they are more susceptible to mental health issues. Many of them have learned helplessness. They're waiting for permission or for someone to do it for them. Lots of adults do that as well, like I need permission to try, or I need permission to change my mind, or I need permission to do something. Some of them are flooded with feelings or numbed out, and they feel unsafe in their bodies. They've lost their love of learning, and their sense of self is dependent on their latest assessment, grade or achievement. And I don't think social media is helping there either. And there's a lovely quote from Aristotle which says, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Because life is about people and relationships, right? And the way that you know yourself enables you to have a strong relationship with other people. People who struggle to have relationships with other people, either in high conflict relationships or are passive, that's because they don't know themselves. They don't know themselves. And I've sort of said here, if we're going to educate hearts and souls as well as minds, self-development is the way. And self-development is the process by which a person's character and abilities are gradually developed. It's sometimes called personal growth, and it's closely linked to self-awareness. So self-awareness is just about knowing who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you will put up with, what you won't put up with, what your desires are, what your feelings are, what your needs are. Lots of people don't know when you ask them, how are you? How do you feel? They don't know how they feel, and they can't ask for what they need. There's no shame in asking for help. We don't know all the things. I don't know all the things. Every day I'm learning new stuff about myself. I felt like at 30, I had to start all over again. So, and people who lack self-awareness, you might call them ignorant. They want to control everything, and these people are quite toxic to be around. So you don't want to be around people like that. And, often when I see little kids trying to control or have power over other children or over their siblings, or, they're resistant and they push back against boundaries, that's because they feel like everything around them is out of control. You see that with food. Eating disorders, at the heart of eating disorders is control. What do children have control over? What they put in their bodies, what comes out of their bodies. They don't really have control over anything else. They rely heavily on us. So let's get down to these. I'm not going to go through the whole blog, but I just wanted to kind of set the scene there. And I wanted you to sort of be in the space where I am, where you can see how having all these tools really set them up for success and happiness in life. So I want to ask you, I'm going to read out a list of these 15 tools, and I want you to just sit there and think about how many of these you wish you'd known when you were growing up and how they could have made your life. Imagine what your life would have looked like now if you'd have known these things. And maybe even now as an adult, some of these things you don't know. That's okay. You don't know what you don't know. But when you don't know something, you can choose, if you're not one of those controlling people I talked about, you can choose to learn it and want to teach it to your kids so that you can give them the best start in life. And if you're a teacher watching this, bring this stuff into the classroom. It isn't another thing for you to do. It is the most important thing that you have to do in order to have that solid foundation for learning. We can't learn if we don't know who we are and we don't feel safe in our own bodies. And if you don't know who you are and you're not connected to yourself, you're going to have anxiety and you're not going to feel safe. That's just a given. And I feel for you if you're one of those people, because I'm one of those people. And life is really hard. Life is hard if you don't know who you are and you're not connected to yourself. It's painful. And you have choices. You can be really kind and compassionate to yourself and learn to do it another way. Or you can struggle on by yourself, or you can make it everyone else's problem, which is what those controlling people do. They just blame everyone else. So, number one, how to think positively. Imagine what that would have been like if you'd have known that growing up. Number two, how to creatively problem solve. So this is not really coming from a practical place of problem solving. This is more about thinking outside the box and trusting yourself to come up with ideas, listening to your intuition. How to make confident decisions. Oh my goodness, how many adults, when they're asked something, how many of you ask your mates or ask your mum and dad or ask someone else, oh, what should I do about this? What do you think you should do? When you're connected to yourself, you know what's right for you. You don't need to ask everyone else. And actually don't ask everyone else, because one, it will confuse you more. And two, they don't know what you need because they're not you, are they? No. How to have strong boundaries. Oh, hello, boundaries. I think boundaries is probably one of the things that most of us struggle with. I often see people on chat forums and on social media talking about boundaries in the context of threatening or bribing or taking stuff away or punishing or enforced consequences. They're not boundaries, guys. They're not boundaries. And if you have your boundaries broken as a child, or you don't have boundaries, or your parents don't have boundaries, you are not only susceptible to abusive relationships and predators, but you're also going to come unstuck in life and be really stressed and get overwhelmed because you can't say no to people. I used to be that girl that couldn't say no. I used to feel overly responsible for everyone else's feelings. We don't want kids growing up with that, do we? It's shit. It's really shit. How to practice mindfulness. Brilliant. Mindfulness is just about being in the present moment, not worrying about the future and not shaming yourself for all the things that you forgot and didn't do right yesterday. How to be with and regulate your feelings. Well, yeah, that's a really important one, isn't it? If you're not connected to yourself, you're not going to feel the full range of all your feelings, and you can't selectively numb your feelings. So if you're numbing out the ones that feel uncomfortable, like shame, guilt, anger, jealousy, envy, whatever ones that you're numbing out, you numb out all the others like joy, excitement, happiness. How to introspect. That's just about going within and being able to have a conversation with yourself, be your own best friend. How to love and respect yourself. Yes, self-love, self-respect. If you don't love and respect yourself, other people won't love and respect you. And then you end up in, out of balance, power dynamic relationships. You feel resentful, you feel walked over, you feel unappreciated. You have to appreciate and love yourself first. How to change your emotional state. Wow, this one's brilliant. Because I teach the kids how to go from there to there, or from there to there. Like, you're in control. The power is within you. That's it, isn't it? How to communicate assertively. How to speak up and ask what you want without feeling like you're a burden or a problem. How to choose healthy relationships that bring out the best in you. The ones that I like to teach the children are not the obvious over bullying ones, but more of the covert manipulative types of relationships. They're the really awful ones that you get into them and you think this person's really nice, and then you realise that actually they're not what you thought they were. And before it's too late, they've already hurt you or betrayed you or, turned everyone against you. That does happen, unfortunately. But that is bullying. That is bullying. How to find your calling. How would you have liked to have known as a child, like, what your passions were? And I talk about your zone of genius, which is not just coming from a place of passion and purpose, but from a place of effortlessness. Like, what do you just do really easily that other people probably would find really hard and take for granted? Like me now, just rocking up here and having a cup of tea with you. Oh, I can chat for England, me. Mrs. Social Butterfly of the introverted variety, only for certain periods of time. How to set goals based on your feelings. I don't set goals based on outcomes or grades. We do all that at school. You need something else to balance that out. Otherwise, you're going to have low self-esteem. How to find courage when you're out of your comfort zone. Oh, how nice would that have been? How many times as an adult have you know that you need to change something, and when it comes down to changing it or doing it, the fear rises up in you and you just feel completely stuck or trapped? I imagine if you've had to leave a marriage, that might have been you. Hard, right? How to see your sensitivity as a superpower. We need more empathy and sensitive people in the world. Imagine if someone had not said to you, oh my God, you're oversensitive, you're so sensitive. Imagine if people hadn't said that to you. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? And then, yeah, so they're the 15. Oh, hang on, my battery's going. Let's just plug you in. There we go. That's better. Is that working? Yes, that should be working. Yes, so how many of those do you wish that you'd known growing up? And how many of those do they learn at school? I know they do some character building work when they're really young, like they do About Me, and they do friendship, like basic social skills when they're really young. But as they get older, that gets sidelined for all the other stuff that they're taught to meet the curriculum. And I think it should be a continuous thread throughout their education. As an adult, I'm constantly doing self-development work. I'm doing continual professional development for my work, but I'm curious about the world and my place in it. I'm curious to squeeze as much loveliness out of life as possible. And I think wild hearts are curious. They are the child that's always saying why. They're the child that will always challenge you. They're the child that wants to learn more. I mean, if Google had been a thing when I was a child, I think I would have spent all my time on it. You can look stuff up now, can't you? So they're the tools. And where do you find them all? Over on Truly Madly Smiley. smileyforlife.com/Truly Madly Smiley. When you go over there, you'll see that there's a free guide that tells you how to set it all up from a tech perspective, but then also there's fun printables for the kids there's a tracker, there's a listening tracker. So they can print that off, and as they listen to an episode, they colour in the bubbles. It's quite good for adults to do as well. I quite like the calm. I'm doing my calm colouring. Actually, I did some calm colouring yesterday. Shall I share it with you? I did some drawing. Yesterday. Some intuitive art. It's very good for expressing yourself. Yes, so when you go over there, there's a free demo. There's a video that shows you how it all works. It's really easy. You just press play and listen. And once you've got the free guide, you'll see. And there's a full list of episodes. So at the moment, we're on episode 73, I think, is about to go live tomorrow. The one with the worry controller. And yes, don't go to the list and go, oh my God, all these episodes, which one do we want? You want to listen to all of them, or just listen to the one that you're drawn to start off with. But I would start at the beginning and just slowly work your way through. And if you'd like to earn Amazon vouchers for yourself or your school, I have a referral scheme called Spread the Smiles. If you go to the website smileyforlife.com/refer, you can find out more about the scheme. So when you refer a friend to Truly Madly Smiley, you send the podcast link to them, you ask them to sign up, you tell them why you love it so much. I always think people are more inclined to listen to something when it comes, like if your mate says to you, oh my God, I bought this amazing cream from Aldi last week, have you tried it? Off you're jolly well popping to Aldi to try the cream out, aren't you? So I think a referral scheme is good. Most of the members that are signed up to Truly Madly Smiley have come through referrals, which is brilliant. That's brilliant because you don't have to convince those people that they need it. They totally get it already. And someone's already said, this is good. This lady knows what she's talking about. You want her to help. I think someone wrote a review about me once and said, oh no, it was a review for the podcast, and said, you want this lady in your back pocket. She knows everything there is to know about kids. I know what it's like to be a kid that didn't get what they needed. That's what I know. And I've had to reparent myself, so I also then know what it's like to be the big person that can give the small person what they want. So yes, you just and then you just click on a link and you type in all your friends' names and it gets sent to me. And when your friend signs up, I send you an Amazon voucher, £5 Amazon voucher. How cool is that? So if you're a teacher or you're in a school, you can earn Amazon vouchers for your school. Also, if you're a school, if you contact me, just send me a direct message or email me, lisa@smileyforlife.com. I will do you like a training. So if you want to set it up for your school, and there's a package for schools so that I can teach you how to use it, and you get 5 logins, so you can have it in 5 different places within the school. Maybe it's 10 actually. It might even be 10. You can have more than one login so that different people can sign in at the same time and use it. And you can use it as, for assembly. You just press play, and you need speakers, and you can play it to the whole school, or you can play it in the classroom, you can play it after school clubs. It's also really inspirational. Like there's lots of ideas of activities and things that you can try with the kids. I think it would also be a really good resource if you had an escape room or a calm down corner. So some schools have, I've seen this in the States actually, because I follow people on Pinterest, and they have what's called an escape room. So if you're feeling overwhelmed in the lesson or you're not feeling right, then you can pop off to the escape room and just chill out. And in there is lots of sensory stuff and things to help you. But you go there to calm down. You don't go there to avoid going to the lesson. Or a calm down corner. If you had Truly Madly Smiley in there and you said, would you like to go and listen to an episode and do some drawing and just sit and chat with Smiley? I think that would be really helpful if you're a classroom assistant right now or a Senko, because I can imagine that your classroom is full of icky feelings and children who are quite scared and maybe distressed. And then we're asking them to sort of play catch up and learn. So I imagine it's quite tough for everyone right now. But we're on Easter holidays right now, aren't we? And it was snowing when I woke up this morning. Have you got snow wherever you are in the world? Can't believe it. It's actually quite cold, isn't it? Right, so I hope that's helpful to you guys. I shall pop the links in here for you. But if you want to set your children up for success, or you want to bring success and happiness and a solid foundation for learning into the classroom, Truly Madly Smiley is everything you need. It's everything you need. And if you have any questions and you're watching this on the replay, pop them in the comments below or send me a direct message. Whatever your questions are, happy to answer them. While I'm talking about questions, actually, you'll notice on this page, I've started to type in questions and answers, because I do get a lot of questions from people, and I can often quickly answer them because I've got blog posts, I've got podcasts. So if you ask a question, I can usually signpost you to something that you can read that will help you. There is a page where you can go and ask me a question anonymously, so that no one knows that you've answered it. But I will either come on here and answer it, or I'll answer it in a podcast episode. smileyforlife.com/question. question that was, in a funny accent, in a French accent. Right, guys, happy Monday. I shall see you all very soon. Oh, keep your eye out for the activity guide for the book. If you're on my newsletter list, go to the home page, scroll right down to the bottom, and there's a little box. Put your email in there. And when that comes out, that activity book, you'll be the first to know about it. And it's absolutely free. All right, everyone, take care. Bye for now.